Welcome to the Just Barbarian Things podcast actual play of Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition's Masks of Nyarlathotep. Hello, barbarians, and welcome to the next session of our campaign through Masks of Nyarlathotep. I am Rainey, your keeper of arcane lore, and today our players are...
Oh, I didn't know we were doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you give us the intro.
No, I'm not
Santiago. Richard.
Jesse.
Jessica! As you can see, they're very exciting people.
It's true.
Not yet, but
Yeah.
give us a minute.
We will be.
Only 3 sips into this.
Yeah.
Glug, glug.
Still early in the day. All right. Last time, you all met up in Lima, Peru, and you met the leader of this archaeologic expedition named Augustus Larkin. You met him at the bar Cordano, where he paid for dinner and drinks and told you a little bit about his intentions to go investigate a location he has found for a lost pyramid in the highlands of Peru. He wants to leave in a couple of days. He's going to give you information via messages to your hotel about where you will meet up to load up the trucks and everything. But you have a couple of days to do what you need to do around the city, basically. When he left, one of the other members of the expedition who admitted that his true name was Jackson Elias let you know that he doesn't really trust Larkin's intention. And he has a meeting set up with a professor at the museum that's part of the local university to get more information about what might be going on with this site that Larkin is talking about. And he has invited you to go with him to meet the professor tomorrow afternoon. It'd be Saturday, March 19th at 2 p.m. He's staying in the same hotel that you are, though, so you can meet him in the lobby around about that time if you want to head over with him. But in the meantime, it is still Friday night in Lima. Is there anything that you would like to do before the next day or in the morning of the next day before potentially you go to this meeting with Elias?
Friday night, huh?
Yep.
In Peru.
Yep. Here, I can give you Friday night streets of Lima music sounds.
I'd like to see if I can find any the local, any indigenous religious officials or similar. Not officials. I'm looking for any local holy people or similar. Not any colony religions. Not that there's anything wrong with those. Just what I'm looking for is any of the indigenous peoples, shamans or what have you, or holy women, or I don't even know.
All right. What skill are you using to try to notice such things?
I am going to use my...
Unless you're just using spot hidden to see if you can spot hidden shamans.
No, nothing like that, but just something kind of social, So I don't know if there's
talking to some people.
Right. Or just walking around and listening,
Yeah.
For that sort of thing and talking to folks.
Sure. Thanks, Maisie.
So I don't know if that would necessarily work, but
Which skill do you want to use?
I don't know. Let's go with
Pick one.
Firearms.
Yeah. Fighting brawl.
Looking for a shaman.
That would like to use jump.
Even better.
I would like to swim to a shop.
Nothing's necessarily hidden. It wouldn't be
No,
track.
but spot hidden is kind of noticing things in general. Like if
Okay.
you were going to see if you could spot some indigenous looking locals or something like that, that would be fine.
Just things that look as though it might be like a temple sort of holy
Sure.
place kind of situation.
Okay.
So let's try that.
Okie doke.
All right. Looks like I rolled a 5.
That's nice.
So that is an extreme success.
I'm sorry to have you waste your rolls so early in the session. No, but something you do notice about Lima is it's incredibly Western. In this city proper, you're not really seeing many signs of the indigenous people really at all. Occasionally, there are signs of like very small like family groups of indigenous people that maybe come in to sell something or trade, but it doesn't seem like there's much in like true indigenous population in the city proper. So you're seeing a lot of like Christian churches and things like that. Occasionally you spot like a Buddhist temple and that sort of thing, but nothing that looks like it's from the native population.
All right. Well, just got to keep looking, wandering around. Maybe I'll get lost. And that's back when you could do that sort of thing. The worst concern was getting shanghaied.
We're not in China yet.
I know.
Okay.
But, you know, it's just
Yeah,
a
no, I know.
general term.
All right, anyone else have anything they want to do in the evening? Or you want to head back to your rooms and wait for the morning?
Well, all the libraries and stuff are all closed because
Yeah, it is
It'd be
nighttime.
like evening,
Yeah.
regular stuff. So I'll just go back to my room,
Sounds good?
be a nun, nun it up.
None it up.
Yeah,
What's your character's name again?
Sister Mary Benedict.
Benedict.
Sister Mary Benedict.
All right. Oh shit. It's Stephen with a PH. I have it written down wrong here. With Stephen.
Stephen Kelly. All right. So,
No big plans.
no big plans for the evening.
Maybe just walk around a little bit. take in-
Explore.
Yeah.
Take in the local color.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe sit on a patio, have a drink.
Yeah. Those always
Smoke a
creative.
cigarette or
Something
two.
with ice in it.
Sweating buckets through your wool suit.
Sweating buckets from a fucking wool suit. That's all he brought.
Let's anything exciting for this one? No. All right. So the next morning, you wake in your very fine hotel. It's all right, and you know that you have a few hours before you would have to meet with Jackson Elias if you were going to accompany him to the museum to meet the professor. So I know, Jessica, that Sister Mary Benedict was considering heading to the library
Yeah.
prior to the meeting. What were you going to look for at the library? What were you looking into?
Like, see if I could find anything on the local kind of lore of the pyramid and all that.
Okay,
Bananas.
sure. Oh, and then just to refresh, because it has been a while for y'all, one of the things that Jackson Elias mentioned as part of what he had found in looking into this whole thing was this lore about these
Just
kind of vampire things.
Are those the fat suckers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a note
The one-
about sucking fat. I can't
Yeah.
remember anything about that.
Where we all decided we wanted to marry them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Karasiri.
Yeah, the Karasiri.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think them and the
And the pyramid and stuff like
yeah,
that.
just kind of general if I can
Sure.
find any
Right.
supernatural business.
So I will have you make
yes,
a library use check.
library. Okay, so I want to try and get below this, right?
Yes. Meet or below.
Yeah. You want to try and blow it.
That's below.
How
I think.
is it below one of your smaller numbers or just the main
Maybe.
number?
Let's look and see.
Let's look.
Oh, it is by 1.
Okay. So under the first smaller number?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a hard success. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Wait, no, it's not.
Oh.
It's one above.
Okay, so it's a regular success.
A regular success.
Okay.
I just got the other dice down, and now you're like, oh,
No, I
wait,
know. We're
this is totally
changing
different.
systems just to make your life
It's
difficult.
fair.
But you could
Sorry.
spend luck.
You could spend luck if you wanted to make it more
2 Is it 1 point or 2? Do you have to equal it or be below it?
equal or below.
No.
I'm gonna save my luck.
Just 1 point?
Why do you have to say it like that? Luck slut.
Can't take
It's
it
like,
with
it's
you.
just 1.
All right. So
You could go insane well before you run out of luck.
looking through the documents, in particular the documents that you can understand, because many of them are in Spanish, you do find some old stories about the Karasiri.
Mm-hmm.
From what you see in there, it does match up with what Elias was saying. They're some sort of vampire-like thing, but it's specific to like consuming body fat as a way to sustain themselves.
Okay.
Something like it allows them to stay alive for a long time and stay young when they do that.
Okay.
And the stories seem to be centered around the arrival of the conquistadors in the 16th century.
Interesting.
So I have a question. Real quick. Jesse Hughes is the folklorist from New York.
Yes.
So does he have? He's actually known as a folklorist, or he's actually, or as far as we know, he's just told this guy.
So he was
The
hired on
Justice.
as a folklorist, but that is kind of in line with what he does in real life. So as Jackson Elias, he researches cults, particularly like death cults and similar, and writes books about their practices and what they do and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he does that as Jesse Hughes or
As Jackson Elias, that's his actual profession. But he was hired on for the expedition as a more just a general folklorist. He knows traditions and like the stories of the people, and he knows the languages and stuff like that too,
Right.
as well. But yeah,
So that's like if Santiago was going by like Matthias
right,
and worked at Best Buy.
mm-hmm.
So it's somewhat related, but
Right, close enough that he can fake the funk. Right, it's an easy character to portray, but it's not really who he is.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. The other thing that you find are just some general, like, old stories about people around the region of Lake Titicaca, which we will be saying many times in this prologue.
Yes.
There aren't a lot of mentions of, like, pyramids and things like that, but occasionally you do, like, see some references, like, to, like, the seal of the Great Temple and things like that.
Okay.
Which may be in line with sort of what Larkin is talking about.
So just in general, there's a temple or there's temples.
Right.
Around.
Something, yeah. A great temple is referenced. Yeah. Right. Anyone else have any morning business?
Breakfast.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
There's
Breakfast sounds good.
always some morning business to take care of. After that coffee.
How's that plumbing? Roll for plumbing.
Roll for plumbing.
Test the local plumbing.
But yeah, cool. Is anyone not interested in going to the meeting with Jackson Elias and the professor? Where you're like, nope, I'm doing my own thing. Peace. And you just want to do something else. Go to the racetrack. Bet on some horses. You know, whatever. Okay. So
Looking
everyone's
forward.
planning on meeting up?
Yeah, looking forward to going to the museum with Jackson Elias.
Indeed.
Sure. Sure thing. All right. So you're able to handle your business, no matter how personal or general that may be, before meeting in the lobby of the hotel with Jackson Elias. He has arranged to meet with Professor Sanchez at his office in the Museo, which is part of the campus of the university that's there. Oh, and actually, I think I have a university handout. There you go. So the university in Lima is in English called the National University of San Marco, but it's the Universidad Nacional de San Marco. So fancy. And the museum, which is part of that campus, is a more recent addition, so the architecture is a little bit more modern to the time. It's a long 2-story stone building painted a dark yellow, and it's kind of on the front side is actually the university's park. And Elias leads you inside to an office on the main floor, and it's an airy, tall-ceilinged room. There are white walls and shelves full of artifacts and books. There is a large hardwood desk that dominates the room, piled high with papers, books, and journals. The windows are open, and a ceiling fan is whirring, creating a pleasant breeze in the room. Oh my God, talking. The man behind the desk looks up, sees Jackson Elias, and just greets him in Spanish. For those of you that understand Spanish, it's just a standard greeting. And then seeing the rest of the group, he decides to switch to English. Because some of y'all very white. And he says, I did not know that Senor Elias would be bringing friends, but I am more than happy to share what I know with all of you. I am Nemesio Sanchez, and it is very nice to meet you all.
Sanchez.
And he is slim and dapper. He has a neatly trimmed beard. He wears glasses and a suit. And there's Nemesio Sanchez, aka Jesse.
Forever and clean.
It's Jesse and Jeff Goldblum had a baby. Yeah.
He's
Getting kind of Nick Crowley.
who is this guy?
Nemesio Sanchez, the
Nemesio
professor
Sanchez.
at the Museo.
My name's Nemesio Sanchez. Everyone calls me Ruxin.
He says, Senor Elias told me that he was looking to learn more about what Senor Larkin may be up to. I have offered to assist him with his investigation multiple times. Every time he either ignores my communications or he rebuffs me in some way. He seems very against me getting anywhere close to what he's doing. And I don't think he's interested in furthering knowledge. I think he's just here as another huaquero. Quechua word. It means grave robber. And unfortunately, the law's on his side. There are no protections in Peru against taking artifacts that belong to our country.
Belongs in a museum.
Belongs on my shelf. Yes, like all good archaeologists think. Just put it on your shelf in your office. Safe.
Fair.
Good to go. Call it the museum because he's in a museum, so it's like it belongs in a museum. It's all good.
So this particularly offends Quentin that he's attached to this expedition that it is ostensibly to explore some pyramid or whatever, but this guy's saying it's just to loot it basically and grave rob it and defile sites that are sacrosanct by some measure.
Right.
So that sticks in my craw pretty sharply.
Okay. Roll for offended. Just kidding. No. You can just be offended. It's fine.
Yeah. Roll to not frenzy. So.
Yeah. I would like to rage.
Man, if I ever buy a t-shirt that says I would like to rage, I'll buy 2 so you can have one.
Right. So, what I decided to do, the only thing I thought made any sense since I couldn't get anywhere with Larkin himself, is I started looking into the information I had access to see if I could pinpoint the location of this potential pyramid. Maybe get there first, but I know we're running out of time. My assistant, Senorita Rizzo, has been assisting me with this matter. We found a document written by a conquistador named Gaspar Figueroa, and it's been very difficult to translate. The language is very strange, but it refers to the site, we think, and to an artifact. She's actually downstairs in the storeroom trying to bring that up and show us all as part of this meeting. Should only be a moment more. But I'm sure you have questions. In the meantime, please feel free to ask anything you'd like while we wait. Yeah, leaving it real open-ended.
We know, right?
I feel like I'm just looking around at the artifacts on the shelves and so forth.
Yeah.
In a very respectful way, of course. Not
Right.
ogling them, but appreciating them.
Yeah.
And so on. But I'm not much of a intellect, idea, education kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I would be the one with questions in this situation.
Sure.
What was the name of the conquistador that came up?
Gaspar Figueroa.
Probably a humanitarian.
Figueroa.
A real man of the people who
Yeah.
gave everyone a fair shake. Is
So
what I
went
would
from
guess.
Gaspar.
Figueroa.
Figueroa.
That's too
Figaro. Did I talk to, or did one of us talk to Jackson about the Kirisari? Like, where did that come up originally?
He told you that he had come across that as part of the tales he was hearing about the site, but he thinks that it's just part of kind of the mystery around the death cult that he thinks is probably behind all of this weirdness.
Okay. I want to ask the professor about the Kirisari.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
he has any experience with that.
He says, I mean, I don't believe it's anything more than folklore, obviously, strange tales of monsters. But basically, there are tales that some of the conquistadors that came here long ago were transformed in a way by something, some dark magic, and became these deathless, fat-sucking creatures. They are able to, if they do not feed, it is said they kind of shrivel up, and if they feed, they look young and vital. Obviously, much like Chupacabra up north, it's just a tale that is often told, but obviously doesn't seem to be a true creature, if it ever was, not
Right.
in this time.
Is there, I forget what it is, but how would I see if I think, gauge his reaction to that?
Psychology.
Psychology.
I also would like to gauge his reaction to that.
You may also psychology.
A reaction to his statement was on the tip of my tongue as far as like when he's made up bullshit. I'm like, I've seen some shit like Wendigo and like that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily always bullshit. So
Sure.
all right, that is a 67.
I had to fail on mine.
So yeah,
He doesn't seem to be hiding anything. He's really thinking about it when you bring it up. I don't think it's necessarily something that based on his reaction, like he's like studied extensively
Right.
or anything. As he thinks about it, he's like, the word, because it's something that I know it's a tale told like in Bolivia and things as well, like kind of throughout the region of the Andes. But it comes from a word which means like to cut with a knife.
Is there any way to kill them?
According to,
the legend.
haven't heard anything from the legend. It mostly tends to focus on how they are deathless creatures and that sort of thing to be avoided.
Well, that's
Kind of
fair.
like the boogeyman.
Right.
Yeah.
How awful.
Do I know anything about these?
You could certainly make a roll to determine that. Like,
Perhaps occult?
sure. You like that one?
I like that one.
Yeah.
One. So that is below my.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
If you haven't already, Santu, don't forget to check your spot hidden from that one earlier check that you did. You can check your library use because you did well on that as well. Make sure to check it. With
Oh.
probably want to use a pencil.
Because that's a thing.
And then obviously, yeah, check your occult.
Are you not training? Oh, yeah.
So
That got me too. I'm like, wait.
as Professor Sanchez mentions the root of the word Karasiri, it reminds you that you've heard like creatures that have names with similar origins from this area. So you've heard the term like pishtaku and pishte, which are more like the native words meaning to cut into pieces or to slaughter. And you remember tales of, as they would call them, butchers who remove the fluids from people and animals to survive. And most of the tales revolve around like being changed by some sort of magic or some sort of item of great power. But yeah, so definitely you're like, oh yeah, I think I've heard of these guys.
He's not full of
I'm
shit.
also smart.
Is this guy a doctor or a professor, or what's his like?
Professor.
Is that how he introduced
That's
himself?
that's
Was it
how
on the
Jackson introduced him.
sign on the
Yeah,
door?
he would say professor.
Professor.
Professor Sanchez.
With that little tick over the O and
Yeah.
all that.
Yep.
So,
Professor.
Yeah.
so their name is that there's something that cuts
Mhm.
other things to pieces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Professor.
Steven was going to ask the question that Jessica asked. Like,
Right.
is there anything about how we fight these things?
Yeah.
Sure you were.
And it's like
What?
he knows some
I'm
of the
just waiting for a
stories
break.
about them.
Calm down,
I
Jessica.
believe you.
But obviously, yeah, his focus isn't occult folklore or anything like that. So he's kind of like,
How am I going to survive?
How do I
this?
kill its
Yeah.
face?
Can I punch them to death? Can I punch the stolen fluids out of them? Perhaps.
Gross.
How do I
punch
befriend
him?
one to
Do I
get
wanna
it to
save
suck
them?
some of my excess fat away?
Yes.
Because that I think could be a lucrative business, and I could also benefit.
I'm also
From-
interested in this.
Like, I'm cool with that actually. It's,
What I'm looking for is you to make me thin. Don't kill me.
Don't go too far.
we'll
And
work
so,
something out.
as
Safe word.
the professor's talking to you and kind of like waiting, you see him like kind of check the door a couple times, and he pulls out a watch and looks at that, and he's like, seems a little like, I wonder what is taking her so long.
You know, Professor, there's often a seed of truth in these local legends I've found. It may not be entirely nonsense.
And where's this girl supposed to be at?
She was just supposed to head down into the storeroom in the basement, the sub-level, to bring up the artifact mentioned in the letter.
Well, which way is that? We'll go check on her.
Oh, I mean, absolutely, you're welcome to go down there. There are many interesting things to see, and I'm sure she'd be happy for the company if she's been distracted by something. And he gives you directions kind of get to the door to the basement. Who has the lowest luck?
Mine's 60.
80.
71.
Me!
Okay, I'd like you to make a luck roll.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
How do I make a luck roll?
It's a D100, and
Okay.
you want to get your luck score or lower, just like your other skills, except the whole group is relying on you to do well because you
Do
have
well.
the lowest luck.
Okay,
This is
so
a group luck roll.
48, which is
So
less
you did it.
than my 60,
Wonderful.
because I can count.
All right.
This is why it's good to have dice that are readable from across the tables. People can help you.
Yeah, I totally thought it said 40 at first. I was
Just-
like,
All right. So as you sort of head in that direction, Elias like have fun looking at the artifacts and like is it just chatting it up with the professor, and you see a doorway that's marked deposito, which is what he told you to look for. It is slightly open. It's not closed, and you see stairs leading down.
Is it dark and creepy?
There are lights on down below. It's not dark.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure nothing bad could happen in
No.
a weird basement at all.
Especially in Call of Cthulhu. It's
Yeah.
a very happy
Did you come
thing.
with me?
I thought we were all going. Are we not all going?
You can choose if you want to go or not.
Oh.
I went with.
I
for
figured-
sure.
It's not like D&D where you can't split the party.
I figured
Like, you
he
have
was
lots
gonna
of
chill
different
to
stuff.
like look at some shit and talk about some occult shit.
Whatever you want to do.
Y'all were talking.
It's a basement full of
Steven's
artifacts.
bored.
And a chick
Steven's
named
bored.
Brazil.
If it's a basement full of artifacts, I have pockets. So
Yeah,
I
that's
would go
true.
down.
Steven just
steal
sitting there
some.
lighting up a cigarette like, man, I need something to
Yep.
do.
I'm going to
This guy's
curate
worried.
and protect
Ah,
artifacts
There you go.
There, in your pockets.
in my pockets.
Yeah.
Go into the basement.
All right. So
I guess we're all going.
going through the door, which stands ajar, you head down the stairs and find yourself in a storeroom. It's very almost cavern-like. It's like they just carved out the stone under the building, basically, and it's very long. It goes the length of this building, and you think it's probably about 80 by 45 feet, at least in the area that you're in. And there are rows of floor-to-ceiling shelves packed with crates, boxes, and bags, all neatly labeled for your ease of identification. Everything seems to be clean and well kept, and there is dim electric lighting between the shelves. It's hard to see very far because the lights aren't very bright. I mean, they're old school light bulbs, but you know.
Quintessential
Yeah.
horror lighting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little flickery. It's quiet. You don't hear anyone down here on first entering the room. You don't see anyone, but there are rows and rows of these shelves, which makes it hard to see very far.
What's her name? Rosa?
What?
Rosa?
Yeah, her name is Senorita Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Do you have to say if you have conversational Spanish, for example?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to have that on listed on your thing? How many conversations?
Jesse's character has
Right.
Spanish
Okay.
as one of his extra languages.
I put languages, but I didn't list which languages.
I think,
Is it Latin?
yeah, because you had Latin, but you didn't list another one yet.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
we're still in the prologue.
Okay.
So as you decide things that you want to move around, skills that are not working for you, skills you'd rather have,
Right.
you can always
Okay.
adjust and solidify. Because we're not even to chapter 1 yet. This is really a chapter where you're how am I playing my character?
Right.
How am I developing them? I
Okay.
probably won't die yet unless I do something real dumb.
Let's hope not.
Who is
That's
this
what I'm
person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who am I?
Probably won't die yet unless I pick up that emerald off the statue.
Remove the statue though.
I'll call out for Senorita Rizzo.
All right.
Hola.
When you call out,
Things.
you hear a strange sort of snarling sound
Hmm.
and a woman's voice cry out, Ayuda!
Dios mío.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
What are boobies?
bad at all.
Let's go towards that sound.
Right, so yeah, moving along the central corridor between the shelves, you get to
Put
a
my
point where
brass
you can see
knuckles in.
things pulled off in a
Close
panic.
quarter stuff.
And I need everyone to make a sanity roll, please.
Sanity.
Hell yeah.
Is it 100?
Yep, and you want to get your
And
sanity
this is
score
the sanity?
or lower. Yes.
Close. Holy shit.
Alright, come on, Jessica's dice. Oh, dang.
Nice. Crushed it.
So just lower than whatever your insane number
Good.
is on here?
Yeah,
your
meet or
sanity?
below,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Good? Sounds
Yeah, I
good.
hope you had more.
Good. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
if
early
there was-
on, it's easier to resist some of these things.
Barely.
Later, it gets a little crunchy.
Squeaked
Okay,
by.
so let me.
88 out
Go
of
here.
90.
Oh, dang. You're like, oh, wait, I'm okay.
Yeah, I did a little pearl clutching.
Yeah.
Or in my case, antler Bowie knife handle clutching. Like that movie Friday. Yeah.
All right, so
Damn.
as you round the corner, the reason I ask you to
Because it's going to be a
Make this
totally
roll.
normal dog.
totally normal,
Not some
Um,
weird devil dog thing.
you see someone you kind of recognize? Question mark. Some of the features look a lot like Mr. Mendoza that you met last night, but this is what you see.
Awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. He has that that fish mouth. It's like a hagfish mouth or a lamprey mouth.
Yeah.
Lamprey. Is that what that is?
Gross.
I think it's lamprey.
Yeah, it's terrifying and gross.
And the creature maybe Mendoza, looks up at you and snarls, and this is where we're gonna get into our first potential combat scene.
Yes.
Is she already dead, or can
You
she
can
looks kind of fucked up right
roll
there?
either medicine or spot hidden if you'd like.
Okay.
No time. It's time to punch things.
44,
Okay. And your medicine is
51.
okay. She's definitely still alive. She is injured though.
Okay.
Grievously. As the creature seems to be opening a hole to suck out her fluids.
Her fat.
Yep. And the various other things.
Her bacon fat.
Oh my.
Yeah, he's
Poor
got a little
Ellie.
grease jar and he's like squeezing her into it.
Gross.
It's on a
He just raids.
high fat, low
Yeah.
low fiber liquid diet.
He's all keto.
All right.
Hey, no wonder he's in
What
shape.
is Q's dexterity?
Q's dex is 60.
He
Okay.
works there.
And Steven?
A 50.
Quite
Okay. And Isaac?
75.
Nice.
Dang.
quite spry.
And the sister?
60.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
You all decked in.
Steven's like, wow, how'd you guys get so fast? You're still putting on your like knuckles and everything.
I wouldn't know, but I've heard that brass knuckles are easy to slip on. Just have them right in that hoodie pocket.
I
and
mean,
just,
you'd think
whoop.
so.
You wouldn't know.
They just slide right on.
Not if you're Steven.
Apparently not if you're Steven. He's got them thick fingers.
They're working man's fingers.
Yeah.
And,
Calloused.
Yep. okay.
Not concerned with giving anybody buttery soft hand shakes. Pleased to meet you, sir.
I got kind of excited when you said buttery soft. I was like, biscuits? Buttery soft what? What is he giving out that's buttery and soft? I might want one.
Can't throw out those two words. Not like
Yeah.
have something to follow it up with. Man.
Yeah, come on. What are you
You
doing?
had my curiosity.
Let's see.
Now you have my attention.
His stats. I know I do.
I want to watch that again. I haven't seen that for a while.
I love that movie.
The Django.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I just remember I really liked the
The D sign.
KKK
Oh, there it is.
guys in it. I just remember thinking that was great.
That bit was awesome about the mask.
What the fuck? I can't see anything out this hole.
Who made
Fuck you.
these?
Don't you ask me or my wife for nothing.
Django Unchained?
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you haven't watched it
That
like
was
3
good.
times.
Hey, have you guys seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
No.
Did you like it?
Yes.
I can't.
It was slower than
Yes.
Quentin's
normally,
normal
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end,
The end was
when
great.
everything goes down. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
His dex bonus.
It was just a long build.
I think Brad Pitt did a great job playing
Yeah,
his character.
I thought so too.
And so did Leo.
Yeah.
But they're both.
No, they were good
good
together.
actors.
They're both really good at it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Kind of a.
you better do a
shocker.
good job.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This creature was not expecting the group that was hired to be part of the expedition to appear in the basement of the museum where he is trying to murder someone. And so, that being said, we'll kind of treat it like we would a surprise round in D&D.
So sneak
he-
attack.
Yeah. So your rogue nun
Yes.
may sneak attack.
Yes.
But what we'll do is he's not gonna, since it's a surprise attack, he doesn't anticipate it basically. So that means not that he doesn't get to act this round, but that y'all will have bonus dice. So that'll be a fun time to introduce that. And he will have a sadness die for his stuff because he's not prepared.
That's what he gets.
Plus, he's straddling a half mummified woman at this point. So, all good things. The first person who gets to act in this combat is Isaac.
Get him.
If you want to.
Rawr.
Up to you.
So, we met Mendoza last night, right?
Yes, you did. He looked very different. His mouth parts did not seem to be quite so toothy and round.
Did he seem particularly young and vital?
He didn't yesterday. He seemed kind of like gaunt. Like, is I guess how I would describe what he would look like yesterday. Now, I mean, he does have the big crazy mouthpiece. He definitely looks like his skin's very supple, shiny,
Buttery.
youthful,
Buttery soft.
buttery
Yeah,
soft.
nice meal.
Yeah. Like he's figured out like a Korean 7-step skincare system. Right? Yeah.
Incorporated some black garlic into his
Yeah,
diet.
definitely.
Oh no.
I
Started making his own soap.
so Isaac, he would not have brought his weapon with him to this.
Right. You were going to a
Particularly.
museum. You were leaving more pocket space for things that might go in, not for things to come out and murder. So yeah.
So, I guess as a defense mechanism to the horror that he is witnessing, like just take a look at some of the cataloged items
Yeah.
near me.
Sure. Let's go ahead and I'll let you decide if you want it to be a spot hidden or one of your kind of more specific skills like archaeology or something like that to see if there's anything of interest nearby.
Look, there's of course archaeology
Right.
Congratulations.
appraisal, maybe.
Sure. Like to know if something's valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go that route.
Okay.
5.
You're
I'm
rolling
doing
well
it.
today.
Right.
So
Mark that one down.
yeah.
I'll tell Jessica these little boxes.
The
if you
things
want.
that are kind of scattered about and
Oh,
pulled
yeah.
off shelves in the struggle.
I'm, like, writing stuff too.
Among them, you see something that looks like almost that it had been taken down more purposefully, but then was kind of like kicked out of the way during this attack. And it's definitely, it's like a long piece of what looks like gold with like symbols carved in it, but what catches your eye about it, which makes you think this might be interesting and or valuable, is that what's carved in it is not a language you recognize at all.
Oh. Okay.
So, get this to Jesse, please.
Oh.
It's an unfamiliar feeling for you, I'm guessing. Or it's
He,
like,
Yes. Definitely familiar
Yeah.
with many languages. And
Yeah,
that,
it's not an alphabet that is recognizable to you at all.
and just to refresh my memory, she
Sure.
was sent down here to get a.
To get an artifact that was referenced in a letter that she had been translating, or a journal entry that she had been translating.
And is this within? How big is this thing? It's a rod, you said.
It's, here, let me pull up more infos about it.
Is it hiding a shotgun in your trench coat size, or is it? like,
This seems to be, yeah, I mean, it would be bigger than pocket size. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Section. It's about 2 feet in length and 3 inches wide. It's a little heavy because it's like solid gold, basically, the entire thing. Not too heavy to carry or anything like that, but it's definitely like hefty. And it looks like the edge, like it's been broken off of something that it was
these
part
ragged
of.
edges. Is that within reaching distance, or is that getting too close to this to Mendoza?
No, it looks like it was something, unlike the things that have been like just pulled off the shelf, it was something that was down and then had been like in the struggle, like it's in its box kind of skidded aside. So you could definitely get to it. All right.
I'm going to go ahead and grab that.
All right. You have, I won't tell you what it is, but you have that thing. There you go.
Money. That's made of gold.
Cool. So there goes Isaac stealing away.
Wait, did you just take the thing and then book, or are you?
No, I'm still.
Oh, okay.
That's all that
Yeah.
he had time
He's
for.
like,
Like, have you seen The Mummy?
That's 65.
You know the little guy Benny, the
scrapples.
little like steely guy. Like that's who I'm totally thinking of you as.
looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
R.I.P. Brendan
So-
Fraser. Not really. He's
Yeah.
still alive.
Just his career.
He's coming back. He's making a comeback.
And none of you lost sanity because sanity loss is, it could have been up to 6 points depending on how you did. But yeah, no, you're good there. So yeah, seeing y'all, Mendoza seems to think for a moment and then basically just dives back in to this woman, trying to get as much vital juices as possible.
Awesome.
Before,
He's hungry.
yeah,
I
doing
thought
whatever
he was
he
going
needs
to
to
run
do.
away, so I'm like, whew.
Goes up to that
That's
buffet
such a
for
you
another
guys
plate.
like reaction. I thought we were gonna get to murder him.
Good stuff. All right, so
I guess he might have brought his knife, but
I don't go
Is it a
anywhere.
big fuck off knife or is it more of a utility? You could peel an apple kind of thing, or
Right.
an orange. I don't know.
next in our
probably
combat
the
order
deep
are
one. It's a
Q
small knife.
and the sister. What would you like to do?
Nice.
You're acting simultaneously.
Oh, okay, cool. So we don't have to negotiate or whatever.
I mean, you can, but it's you guys are next.
My plan is that my gut reaction would be to say, like, so this is 1921.
True.
So my
It is the 19th of March, 1921.
language is, 19 March 1921.
Yeah.
That's what I have written down here.
Good, me too.
Fantastic.
All right.
Cool. So, my language would just be blistering. I mean, the foul filth that spews forth just starts like bubble the paint on the walls with the profanity of it. As Q says,
Oh my.
"Get off of her, you goddamn son of a bitch!"
Oh,
Whoa!
the
Oh boy!
do you have any? Is that your turn that you're yelling at him?
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
I'm just
That's your whole turn.
roll for sanity, having never heard such
Such vile
vile
terminology.
Mine, yes.
profanity.
You hear people fainting upstairs. No. Yeah.
Drop it all over like flies.
No. Yeah. So
couple of
you
people
yell.
get
Obviously,
hands
like
snapped.
Mendoza's reaction to seeing you all is basically like, I need to get as much go juice as I can. So what would you? I mean, obviously you yell,
Yeah.
which may be heard by people upstairs. I will make some rolls.
So the
to determine
idea
this.
is that I'm operating on is that you can talk like
Oh,
for
no,
free,
yeah.
and then you can do something as well.
Yeah,
at the
I was
same
just
time.
joking with
Yeah.
you.
Okay,
I was
cool.
joshing you.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I would like to. I'm assuming we're pretty close. Like we turn to the corner and they're like
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
they're like between two shelves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my intention is having made that declaration to stride forward manfully and soccer kick the dude right in the face to like kick him off of her.
Okay.
Is what I would like to try to do.
So you're doing fighting brawl.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, baby. All right. Yes, that is an extreme success. 7.
Okay, so
Under
you're doing an
15.
extreme success.
Yeah.
He is going to try to fight back. Because that's what they get to do in Cthulhu. He has decided he's going to try to bite your leg, right in the leg parts.
Right in the foot.
I want him to suck your vital juices out of your foot.
Nice.
Stop!
Oh,
It tickles.
Start
he
shaking.
super fails that roll, which means your success is better, so you get to do your thing. So please roll your damage for your fighting brawl, which is you should have damage for that.
So I have everything down here. It's unarmed. It's 1d3 plus damage bonus,
Yeah.
which is 1d4.
Okay, so you have a 1d3 and 1d4, which means you roll a 1d6, and you can either do 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is another 1, 2,
Okay,
3,
gotcha.
or however. People do it different ways, but whatever you like.
So what I can do is I can roll a 1d4 for the damage bonus, which I got 2, and then a 1d6 where it's fuck it, let's just see what happens. 5, right? So that'd be a 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 5 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool,
Total
cool,
of
cool.
5 damage.
He's got, okay.
But it's less about the damage and more about the like kicking him off of her is what I'm trying to do.
No, I understand the intention. but
So
it is
okay,
Cthulhu, so
Just-
I do have to track how much murder is done.
it's cool. Yeah, I'm just making sure that that's out there. And finally, just real quick, is there like an action to draw your weapon? Because
No, you
like
can-
as soon as
you
I
can
came around, I
figure it.
saw that. I like
Yeah.
clutched the handle of my Bowie knife in a like, because it's a talisman for
Yeah.
me. It's not just a weapon. So I would have like
You can do
clutched
that
it
as
for
part of your movement,
reassurance. So at some
Yeah.
point I would definitely want to draw it out,
Yep.
but probably after the kick,
Yeah.
if possible. If I have enough action, I'll
Sure,
be able
sure.
to do that.
Yeah, I feel
Is
like-
this like D&D where you can share space with allies? Or-
So it's less tactical mappy and more just like think about what might make sense and stuff like that. So they're not like 5-foot squares or whatever. There's enough room between these shelves, probably for a couple of researchers to be working on opposite shelves and have space to do their thing. There's a table at the end of the little row, like for putting artifacts down and like doing something nerdy, like you do.
Do these
So,
shelves go all the way up to the wall?
so they go to the walls, but the walls are kind of rough-hewn, so it's not like a perfect fit. Yeah, but they go against it as much as they can, and then there's like a clear corridor in the middle.
I
Okay.
think it's Jessica's turn anyway.
Yes, Jessica.
So what I'm wondering is, I would like to. No, I wanted to see if I could grab her and sort of drag her away from him.
Sure.
If I wanted to, like, say, for example,
Mm.
smash a bottle of holy water on his face,
Sure.
is that a separate thing, or is that a one?
Yeah. So within this turn,
Mhm.
you're either gonna grab her or you're gonna do something to him.
I'll grab her then.
Okay. Do you have a different skill you'd like to use, or would you like to roll strength for this one?
I don't know what else I could use besides strength.
Yeah, if you have some sort of athleticism that you could argue, that would be a thing. But otherwise, strength is probably your go-to for this one, just to make sure that you can physically move her
Yeah.
slightly mummified body. And you do, like I said, have bonus die this round because he was surprised.
How does that work?
So you're going to roll 2 tens places and take the better one
Okay.
when you roll your D100. So you're rolling 3 dice technically total.
Can I just roll my one twice?
Yeah, absolutely, as long as you remember what the first one was.
Oh, I'm dumb. I already had it out. Oh wait, so if it's 13,
If you're already good,
then I'm already
that's
good.
fine.
I don't have to roll
Yeah.
again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then yeah, 13, which is in between my two small numbers.
Okay, cool, yeah. So that's a hard success.
Hard success.
So you, impassioned by your faith and your belief that you are here to deal with bullshit like this,
True.
you grab this woman who's technically a little bit lighter than you might normally suspect, since she's missing a lot of her fluids.
Fair.
And she's easier to move now because he is no longer atop her, feeding off of her chest piece, because he has been soccer kicked aside into one of the nearby shelves.
Football.
Yes, football. As he flies off, he's like, "It's called football," and like, but yeah, you just drag her into the central aisle, basically between the shelves.
I will do that then.
Beautiful. And now, the long-awaited turn of
The
Steven.
long-awaited turn. So I'm guessing, if this is the aisle, Sonny kind of walks up, or Quentin
Yeah, Q.
walks
his
up.
friends.
Q walks up, kicks dude off, and is now kind of squaring up.
Yeah.
This is the shelf.
Yes.
So now Quentin's kind of standing, kind of over the lady,
Right.
and now who's now
They've been
dragged
dragged
off.
kind of behind him. Yeah.
So my plan is to come up like this, kind of pin him in,
into that kind of U made by the
and then
shelves.
push him that way,
Okay.
so we can.
Like,
This is like fighting in a hole.
yeah.
This is
It
close
is what you're
quarters
used
shit.
to.
I'm real happy about that.
Are you mostly just physically moving into block? Are you actually like grabbing onto him and pushing him back, or
No, more just standing in that space.
You're, like,
so that if he wants to
blocking.
go out the way
he has to go through you?
to the main entrance,
Yeah.
unless he's gonna do some crazy judo, like
Right.
fucking kung fu shit,
Conquistador judo. Yep.
and jump the fuck over us. So I'm just gonna stand there and then just start.
Getting ready.
So anyway,
Get on the head.
I started swinging.
So anyway, I started swinging.
All right, yeah. So right now, Q and Steven are kind of square shouldering, blocking that exit from the shelves into the main corridor. Beautiful. All right, we are back to
Do I get the punch?
Isaac. Oh, do you want to do that as well? Yeah, you can punch.
That's the whole thing.
You spent so long like getting your knuckles on while everyone else was doing stuff. Go ahead.
He got his knuckles on when he walked in there. It was all like, don't like it.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and do your fighting brawl, please.
Fighting brawl.
And you do have a bonus die because we're still in first round.
Bonus die.
Gonna need it. I mean, I still pass, but we'll see if
Yeah.
we get better.
Yeah, because you want to do better than he does.
Oh, going all the way over here. There you go.
There we go. That is better. That is a first number success.
So a regular success or under your first small number?
Under my first small number.
So hard success.
Hard success.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right. Let's see. And this is him trying to. At this point, he's not fighting back. He's trying to dodge, which he does not do. He fails his dodge roll. So yes, please punch away. My friend.
Yeah.
Punch
right
away. Okay,
So brass knuckle damage plus your damage
This
bonus.
is the D3. It's a 3, so it'll be a 2.
Uh-huh.
Plus my damage bonus is a D6. So 4, 6, and then plus 1. 7.
Nice. Yeah, I did tell you guys in character creation, I know because I re-listened to it recently, that Rich could potentially one-shot someone with his fist. Hasn't quite done that yet because this is a monster, but like a normal person would probably be out at this point. But yeah, he's not looking good. He actually, like, he kind of almost cough/regurgitates up this mixture of like fat and blood onto the
Not on the
stone
suit!
floor.
From got one spare.
From the force of the blow.
Oh, I can't.
All right. And now we're back to Isaac.
I guess take a look at old girl. Is she
She is
looking
still
pretty rough?
She's injured. Definitely, she has an open wound on her chest, but she is alive.
I guess. I thought I had something.
Like medicine, or first aid, or pharmacology.
Natural world? Is that what? No, I do have a little bit of medicine. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I know there's one on here. What's it called?
Seeing if you can kind of stabilize her. Is that what you're looking to do? Okay.
No, 83.
Yeah. You start to go like towards her to be like, I should probably do something to make sure she doesn't die on us and can tell us what's going on. And then you see this like weird garbage disposal mouth vampire like cough like fat and blood onto the floor and you're like, oh, maybe I should flex with that. Oh. And you are not able to kind of recall exactly what you should do in this scenario.
I don't know how to help you. Maybe cocaine?
When in doubt,
Cocaine about it.
Yeah.
All right.
It usually works.
So we will head back to. Oh, it's Mendoza's turn. The creature stands up, and from its belt, it pulls a very old-looking but sharp sword.
well, shit.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. He is not in good shape, and he kind of swings it wildly in an attempt to kind of clear space, basically. But he failed it, so you guys don't have to roll to dodge or anything like that.
We ain't rattled by that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What you doing in here?
And
Lops an arm off.
yeah.
Whatever. I got 2.
Just a question, motherfucker.
But
I'll get a new one.
he is actually, for the two of you that are blocking the corridor, I'll have you both make psychology rolls.
Psychology. Which is nice, because I actually got a little psychology. Let's see what we got.
I have a little.
Sweet. Right.
Shit.
Normal success
Okay.
for me.
Man, that's a hard success. Kind of close to an extreme.
All right. Don't forget to check stuff that you're successful on, too, because we'll need that later. So yeah, you both see the
You only get
telltale-
one check, though, right?
One check. Once it's checked, you know it's ready to go. You both, from your experience, know the telltale sign of someone getting their feet under them to try to make a run for it.
Mm.
He has not done it yet, but you know that's probably his next sort of move. All right, and now we are to Q and Sister Mary Benedict. What would you guys like to do?
Right.
So when I'm looking here, what's my, like, do I have to roll for an assessment to see, like, is she savable or is she just fucked?
You know that she's still alive at this point.
Right.
I wouldn't make you roll, like, she could still be kept alive, but she probably needs treatment.
Okay.
If you were looking to basically field stabilize her,
Yeah.
it would probably be first aid.
All right, I'll do first aid one, because I figured these guys would
Yeah.
got their
Yeah, you're
got
not
their
all
business.
combat folks.
Yeah.
That's okay.
First aid.
Yep.
Okay. That's a success. It's just a regular success.
Okay. Yeah. So you get to work, like, grabbing, like, the padding, the linens that are being used to, like, pad artifacts and stuff like that. You're
Right.
just, like, ripping them out, like, shoving it, packing it into the wound, putting pressure on it, saying a few prayers, that
Okay.
sort of thing. But yeah, you are working to stabilize her.
Right
But
on.
you think that you're doing it the right way. It's looking good so far.
Giving her some cocaine.
For as much as
So
I know about.
yeah, you sprinkle some cocaine in the wound, put the linen on top. Your blessed cocaine that you carry
Yeah.
in your bag.
Obviously.
Holy cocaine.
And Q, what would Quentin like to do?
So I drew my Bowie knife
You did.
last turn.
Yeah. And you know that he's going to try to run for it.
And I've noticed that he's going to try to grab it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see if I can maybe prevent that. And I know that one of the popular tactics of the wolves in the Klondike Valley
Mm-hmm.
is to hamstring their prey
Right,
so they can't flee.
right.
So
they taste more like ham.
there you go.
Right.
Yeah, also true. So his Bowie knife is a
Hands
full
got string with, on him.
10 inches
Uh-huh.
of razor sharp high carbon steel.
Right.
And he's holding it in an ice pick grip because he just jerked it out of the sheath
Right.
almost instinctively. So he's going to say, I'll be damned if you go anywhere, you hell spawn. Crouch down and shoot out the blade behind his knee and yank it back in a vicious slash to hamstring and cut those tendons there. So he loses the functionality of that leg to flee.
Okay. Make your roll, please.
Here we go. This one is still under fighting brawl, I'm guessing, because I don't
Yeah.
have like a knife or
No,
whatever.
you're doing a fighting brawl maneuver. That's okay.
All right. 22. That is a hard success.
Okay. He failed on his counter. So what I'll have you do is roll your normal weapon damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say do weapon damage but without your damage bonus
Okay.
because we'll make your maneuver that you're hamstringing him basically the
Yeah.
other part of the damage.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That is a total of 4 damage.
Okay.
Going
Okay.
right for that back of the leg, which never comes up in the type of combat that you're familiar with, I'm sure. It's just not even a thing that everyone does all the time, constantly.
You're never gonna walk again.
All right. So
Batman, your ass.
the creature is lunging forward in a move to try to get out of the corridor. You move in, reach in, and just, slash across those necessary muscles and tendons. And not only do you seem to slow the creature, but it stumbles forward and, it doesn't appear to be breathing, moving. It just, kind of crumples from all the damage that it's taken at this point.
Oh.
Because he looked pretty beat up when he was deciding to run already. So, yeah, but he, he goes to run, you slice, and he falls forward and is
Lands in the classic Family Guy pose.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
Kind of looking up from his still form, you see the Sister Mary is over here. She's kind of packing the wound of who you assume to be Senorita Rizzo, and who is starting to breathe a little bit more comfortably, but is definitely kind of just out right now. And that, for this session, is where we'll wrap it up.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll let you investigate a little bit more about what may be going on next time. So, thank you, barbarians, for listening to this session. We'll have another one soon, so that you as well may know what may occur next. Alright, cool.
Billy do.
Serves you right, you damn hellspawn.
Son of a bitch. Thank you, barbarians, for listening to our latest episode of Masks of Nyarlathotep in Call of Cthulhu. We hope that you spent your rage and your sanity wisely. Our intro and outro feature music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. We use Waltz, Unseen Horrors, and The Dread. We also use game sounds and ambiance by Sirenscape. You can check them out at Sirenscape.com because epic games need epic sounds, and links to all of those are in the description. Thank you again, and we hope to see you next time.